You are not alone. There is help out there. We are not going to be better off because you're not here. An average of 700 officers or more a year kill themselves. You wonder, what was it that drove them to that point? Was it cumulative stress? Was it trauma as it pertains to the job? Is it relationship issues? It's a combination of all three. To think that somebody struggled enough to decide best course of action for me personally, and maybe even the best course of action for my family, is for me to leave this world. That's just not the case.
The one incident that kind of always gets brought up of what was the one thing that pushed you into wanting to become an SRO, and it was a case where it was prom night, and a boy and a girl, they'd broken up a couple weeks prior. He wasn't taking it so well, put a gun to his head and pulled the trigger. For me, the reflection of it is, how could I prevent that? Let them know that there's resources and that it's okay as a guy to talk about your feelings and that there's somebody there for you.
So I know people are always like, they'll say, don't say how are you, that's a stupid question, but really that does open the door for people to say, oh, I'm not doing so great, or how are things going? Because that connection gives people a sense of belonging when they're in that space.
Unfortunately, I've been involved in a number of police suicides. And the one common denominator in every single one of those was that somebody knew something. They knew that that individual was going through some kind of personal struggle. I get angry. And when I say I get angry, I don't mean I'm angry at the people who knew that something was going on. I guess more I just get angry that something could have been done. Something could have been done to hopefully prevent it. And so one of the things that I've always encouraged folks is that when you see a change in behavior, when you see a change in appearance, when you see something that you know is not, for lack of a better term, normal, confront it. Ask the question, is everything okay? How are things going? If you just ask somebody how you doing, the typical answer you're going to get is, I'm fine. And then a lot of times we just leave it at that and move on. It's an opportunity for that person who's asking the question, to, at minimum, to at least guide them in the direction of getting that assistance. If you don't feel comfortable with it, or just that conversation didn't work out well, then go to your supervisor. But at least do something. Contact your wellness officer or contact a peer support coordinator and ask them.
I agree that it's hard to evaluate how someone else is coping with something, whether it's good or bad, but I think encouraging always, and not to be afraid to say, I'm seeing some things that I think I want to bring to your attention.
I think one of the most important responsibilities of a supervisor is really knowing the people within his or her squad. And when I say confront, I'm not saying, drag them into an office and, rake them over the coals, but take the time to talk, continue to follow up with them. You're letting that person know you do care.
We have Aurora Mental Health, we have hospitals, of course. The biggest thing is supports. Those supports may not always be the professionals, but family and friends that are willing to listen and be there for them.
I think it's absolutely normal to be fearful to bring it up in the workplace, to wonder, if I tell my supervisor, are they going to take my gun and badge away? There are so many organizations, not only locally but around the country, that you can call on and have complete confidentiality. Know that there are people in your agency that will come running. And if you don't feel confident, then talk to the agency next door.
This is a time when it's really important to tell people what you need and how you're feeling, and to get what you need to survive this. To me, that's strength. That's amazing strength.
But I'm there for them, no matter what. That there's no judgment, that I've been through more than what they may know, and I'm there to listen, and I'm there to be there for them no matter what.
We can help get to a point where we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And the most important thing out of all that is that you come out of whatever it is you're dealing with alive and there for your family.